Hello there. Welcome to Just the Discs. We talk about Blu-rays here, and today I'm going to talk about just a handful of recent Vinegar Syndrome OCN partner label titles. And I'm going to start with one that is in keeping with the season. It's December, Christmas time, and thus we have The Christmas Martian. This is the new one from the good folks at Canadian International Pictures, and it is it is something. It's really an interesting, crazy, wacky kids film from 1971, I believe, and The Martian looks like a dude. Sometimes he's wearing a fur coat. Sometimes he's just wearing this green netting and the netting over his face and green boots. How do they sell it here? While looking out for a Christmas tree one winter day, siblings Francois and Catou encounter a bizarrely dressed entity who is from Dirty Money. Dirty Money's Marcel Sabourin, who emanates bubbles. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. And shoplifts from a convenience store. He steals a bunch of candy, if I recall. With Catou convinced this, quote, man is really a Martian, the children follow his green trail all the way to a flying saucer. After confirming his alien identity, they form an instant bond and pool their efforts to fix the Martian's damaged spaceship so he can return to his home planet. Meanwhile, the police join forces with a vigilante mob to track down this mysterious visitor and put his antics to an end. Yeah. A viable contender for weirdest Canadian movie of all time, The Christmas Martian. And that's saying something. I mean, we're talking about a country that put out the Peanut Butter Solution and a lot of other interesting weirdness. Christmas Martian takes a family-friendly holiday entertainment to imaginatively inspired new places. With a uniquely carefree and childlike approach, director Bernard Gosselin, making his one and only fiction feature, paved the way for producer Rock Demmer's celebrated Tales for All series, and arguably even E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Available here in its original French version and the more outlandish English dub, Christmas Martian is a misunderstood and underseen holiday gift that keeps on giving. It is that indeed. And I actually watched this as part of something that I think they still do in LA. It's called Bad Movie Night, and it's kind of I'm sure this would be apocryphally awful to a lot of people, but it's kind of fun sometimes. They would basically have they pick a movie that's pretty crazy, bring a crowd into a room to watch it, and let people make comments, and then they would give prizes for the best comments. But it was kind of Mystery Science Theatering the movie, which I know a lot of people are not into, but I think in the right context, with a group of people that are game, it's fun sometimes. And this movie's just crazy. Like, I'm not trying to be mean about the movie. It's just nuts. So it's hard not to laugh at it. But yeah, so that was my first experience with this. This is now a beautiful version of this film, scanned and restored in 2K from the 35mm original camera negative by Elephant Memoire du Cinéma Québécois. Complete English and French versions of the film. Audio commentary featuring Paul Korup of Canucksploitation.com and film historian Jason Pachonsky. I'm really excited to check that out. I really want to hear whatever they have dug up for the commentary on this. Trailers for all 1971 to 1994, 32 minutes. Theatrical trailers for The Christmas Martian and the first 15 films of the Tales for All series. So you can watch this with the trailers at the front, or you can just watch it regular, which I thought was kind of cool. Then there's trailers for all commentary featuring Korup and Pachonsky. So they comment on all the trailers, which is also cool. New audio interview with actor Michael Sabourin, 13 minutes. He's the let's see, would he be the son of the actor. Oh, it's Marcel. Sorry. So it is The Martian. So they have an interview with The Martian himself. The Joy Winter, 1962, 15-minute documentary short directed by Gosselin and Martian producer Jean Dansereau. So that's cool. The Beach, 1978, 4-minute animated short based on a story by Martian screenwriter Roche Carrier. And French theatrical trailer for The Christmas Martian. Booklet featuring a new interview with NFB curator Marc St. Pierre and an essay by Fantasia programmer Marc Lamoth. Plus reversible cover art. Yeah, this is something, folks. If you're looking for that sort of wackadoo, crazy Christmas movie, this is your thing. The other thing The Martian does that I think is really entertaining is he has a giant matchstick that he can light, and I guess he has multiples of this, or maybe it's the same one. He can just relight it. When he does light it, it allows him to float through the air like Mary Poppins, and so he does do that on occasion and with the children. And I find it really interesting how they shot those scenes. Sometimes they're floating through the air and they're using like blinding sunlight to sort of maybe mask how they're holding them up, because I couldn't really tell if it's strings or what it is. But yeah, very entertaining. Only like 65 minutes or something, I want to say. It's not, 65 minutes long. Definitely neat cult item and something I do recommend. That's the new one from Canadian International Pictures. Speaking of cult items, this is one that I'm aware of, but I have never seen. The new release from AGFA is Shredder Orpheus. This is a skate rock adventure of the deadly kind. This is from 1990, and it is definitely an underground type movie. Let's shred our way to hell. The Greek myth is reimagined as a post-apocalyptic rock opera in Shredder Orpheus, a low-budget hallucination that drops somewhere between the music video for Devo's Whip It, a Bones Brigade skate tape, and a surrealist art project. The story follows Orpheus, director Robert McGinley, a rock star who descends to hell in order to save his kidnapped wife and the universe from Satan and his hypnotic TV signals. Filmed in Seattle and featuring a rare screen role from Stephen Jesse Bernstein, the William S. Burroughs of the Pacific Northwest, Shredder Orpheus makes its disc debut with a new preservation from the original film elements. And this is preserved from a 35mm blow-up print created from the original 16mm Beta SP and 1-inch tape master elements. So I guess there's a combination of elements here, but this is from a 35 print of it. So that's really cool. Just like it was cool they did the 35 print of Boarding House. So that's awesome. Commentary with director Robert McGinley and AGFA's Brett Berg. Very much looking forward to that. I'm a big Brett Berg fan. Very cool guy. Very neat programmer and just cinematic mind. Vintage bomb shelter video promo. Photo gallery, original VHS version, original home video trailer, booklet with a Robert McGinley interview by David J. Moore, and film/myth commentary by Amy Rose. So you're getting all that and a nice booklet as well. Very cool. Always fascinated by the stuff that AGFA is doing. They just continue to bring to light a lot of, underground and obscure, fascinating, films. And this is one that I've been curious about for years. So very excited to dig into that set. Then we have a new one from the good folks at Deaf Crocodile. This is Benny's Bathtub. Okay. This is another foreign animated film. Benny's Bathtub, 1971. Fiasco film, Denmark, 41 minutes. How can you not love a psychedelic animated kids film in which a young boy, bored with the dreary gray adult world, follows an enchanted tadpole into his bathtub, where he discovers a surreal and musical undersea world, populated by singing and barely dressed mermaids, a funky hepcat octopus, and a whiskey-drinking skeleton pirates. The Underwater Kingdom is the grooviest scene this side of the Yellow Submarine, with helpings of Dr. Seuss, Sid and Marty Krofft, and Harry Nilsson's The Point thrown in. Those are all great touchstones. I'm a fan of all that. Danish kids' entertainment in the early 70s was truly out of sight. In addition to the candy-colored kaleidoscope visuals, the film is famed for its incredibly addictive soundtrack featuring jazz heavyweight of Copenhagen circa 1970 with jazz heavyweights of Copenhagen circa 1970 with vocals by the cream of Danish late 60s pop and rock on tracks like Octopus Song, Blake Sprutensangen, and Seahorse Song, considered a national treasure in Denmark, where it was selected by the country's cultural canon alongside works by Carl Theodor Dreyer, Isaac Dinesen, and Hans Christian Andersen. Benny's bathtub has been beautifully restored from the original camera negative and sound elements by Fiasco Film for the first ever U.S. release by Deaf Crocodile in Danish with English subtitles. Very nice. It does look pretty trippy, I gotta say. But also kind of like modern in terms of the animation in some ways. Like, doesn't seem like it's 1971, at least from the still on the outside. Let's see here. Bonus features always stacked as usual per Deaf Crocodile, who do it right. 3 newly restored episodes of the beloved Danish children's TV series Cirkleen, which ran from 1967 to 71, animated and produced by Jannik Hastrup and based on the characters created by Han Hastrup, including the first ever Blu-ray release of the wildly controversial banned Escape from America episode in Danish with English subtitles. So let's see here. Cirkleen the Snow Mouse, 1968. The adorable miniature elf Cirkleen, who lives in a matchbox, and her mouse pals, Freddy, Jack, and Sammy, decide to build a snow mouse instead of a snowman and run afoul of their nemesis, the cat. Features Jannik Hastrup's lovely minimalistic artwork and cutout style of animation. I'm very much into cutout animation. Cirkleen Sammy Goes Flying, 1968, 12 minutes. Cirkleen and friends fly a kite and encounter gophers and singing tadpoles in this precursor to Benny's Bathtub, with music co-written by Benny's composer Hans Henrik Lee. Cirkleen Escape from America, third episode, 1970, 13 minutes. Arguably the single wildest, most incendiary, and subversive episode of the animated children's TV ever produced. This starts out in familiar territory with Cirkleen and friends going on a merry-go-round, around-the-world adventure until they go to the U.S., which is depicted as an early 70s urban hellscape. They look for Mickey Mouse, but discover he's just a hollow statue. Instead, toy soldiers are terrifying the population. The police have swine faces, and they meet a mouse in hiding who's a member of the Blank Panther Party. Imagine Art Crumb and Ralph Bakshi circa Fritz the Cat doing an episode of Sesame Street, and you have some idea of the jaw-dropping Escape from America, which was banned from broadcast by Danish public TV. Wow, that does sound pretty nuts. And then in addition to that, you have a new hour-long interview with legendary Danish animator and author and Benny's Bathtub co-director Jannik Hastrup, moderated by Dennis Bartok of Deaf Crocodile. 2 separate audio commentary tracks by author, programmer, and podcast host Millie DeChirico. Big fan of Millie's. And film journalist and podcast host Mike White from the Projection Booth. So very cool to have them. 2 commentary tracks from them. Wow, that's super neat. New essay by film historian and documentary producer Steve Reifel. And Blu-ray authoring by David Mackenzie of Fidelity in Motion, which is definitely a plus. Parental note, Benny's Bathtub features scenes of animated semi-nude mermaids. So this is 1371, 1971, 41 minutes. But anyway, packed with stuff. Another great sounding release from Deaf Crocodile. Goes well with Christmas Martian, I think. Next up we have I Blame Society. This is the new one from Dekanalog. This is a film by Gillian Wallace Horvat, and this one was something of a sensation, if I recall, when it came out in 2020. It says, we gave you all these ideas, and you go off and make weird Francis Ha. The famous last words of a producer who doubts the awesome power of writer-director star Gillian Wallace Horvat. After a few idiosyncratic short films, Horvat gave the world a concentrated dose of her meta-madness in I Blame Society, a film that destroys itself and its benefactors as it goes. Horvat plays a funhouse version of herself, a terminally plugged-in creator looking to finally make the leap to the big time. With an attaboy from the clueless moneymen, Gillian starts documenting her process of squaring up accounts with ex-boyfriends, old enemies, and innocent bystanders alike. We're talking about killing here, you know? Authentic in more ways than one, as Gillian herself says, I Blame Society is among the most pointed and dryly hysterical looks at the world of branding, buzzwords, and social media's indemnification against serial selfishness. A true original shot guerrilla style with a cast and crew of friends, I Blame Society is a messy, open casket funeral for an independent American cinema of the 2000s. So, very cool that she, wrote, directed, stars in it. I know that wasn't originally her intention, and she goes into that in the commentary, which is a nice track. Audio commentary with writer-director Gillian Wallace Horvat and cinematographer Olivia Kwan. Also, her short films are included here. Kiss Kiss Finger Bang from 2015, which has Anton Yelchin and I gotta look up the rest of the cast. Whiskey Fist from 2017, that also has some folks you'd recognize. Who am I thinking of here? Chase Williamson is in that one. And I Murder Sizzle Reel from 2018 as well. It has a booklet introduction by Daniel Waters and a booklet essay by Vicky Osterweil. So let me just look at that booklet essay here. Daniel Waters, of course, the screenwriter of Heathers, and he is, I can't remember if he's listed as a producer too, or, yeah, I can't read that. There's some swearing in that, but very cool to have an intro by Dan Waters, one of the funniest humans in the world, and one of the great screenwriters of our time. So that's awesome. So this is the new one from Dekanalog, Region A. Very cool stuff. And then lastly, we have one more from Saturns Core, The Killing of Bobby Green. And this one is from, well, let's see if we can find it as we go here. High school students Ray Sterling, Mick McCleary has it in for his fellow classmates. Bobby Green. Seems Bobby's father was responsible for putting Ray's father behind bars, where he ultimately took his own life. With the help of his three best friends, all donning ominous clown masks, Ray orchestrates a cruel and elaborate prank, kidnapping Bobby and imprisoning him inside an underwater cavern within the local quarry. This seemingly harmless prank turns deadly when Bobby accidentally drowns during the proceedings, and the unrepentant Ray quickly covers it up, the fatal misdeed. When the detectives start asking questions, Ray will do anything to keep his friends sworn to secrecy at any cost, even if it means resorting to cold-blooded murder. Like an analog after-school special from hell, The Killing of Bobby Green cleverly skirted the lines between the gritty indie film crime capers of the 90s and the YA thrills of Lois Duncan's I Know What You Did Last Summer, a masterful early shot-on-video feature from prolific New Jersey-based actor, writer, director Mick McCleary. Twisted Tales, Track 16, The Altruist, Addicted to Murder. Saturns Core is proud to present The Killing of Bobby Green in its definitive director-supervised Blu-ray edition, newly paired with McCleary's never-before-released 1989 shot-on-video crime comedy Crooks, and over 9 hours of special features chronicling the entire first 10 years of Mick's one-by-one films and video imprint through documentaries, commentaries, and rare short films. Wow, this is stacked with stuff. So this is an audio commentary by actor, writer, director Mick McCleary, Unlimited Vision, writer, director Mick McCleary, in conversation with filmmaker Kevin J. Lindmuth. One by One Film and Video, 1982 to 1992, archival 10th anniversary feature-length retrospective documentary, 89 minutes. Bonus movie Crooks, 1989. Mick McCleary's never-before-seen shot-on-video comedy crime caper, 104 minutes with optional commentary from the director. Crooks Redux, new 2023 director's edit of Crooks, 88 minutes, so he cut it down. Making of a Vision, archival making of featurette for limited vision. Mick McCleary's short works, all presented with optional director's commentary. We have Cyborg from 1984, 10 minutes. Out All Night, 1988, 26 minutes. Boys Will Be Boys, 1988, 16 minutes. Limited Vision, 1991, 35 minutes. And Pickup 2019, 7 minutes. So that is quite a lot of stuff. This is an all-region disc. Another one from the good folks at Saturns Core. So lots of good stuff. As usual, even more, obviously, than I could cover from the partner labels. There's just too many of them. I can't possibly get all that stuff even shown on the channel, let alone watched and talked about. So hopefully there's some stuff in here for you to check out. But obviously, I'm a huge fan of Canadian International Pictures and AGFA and Deaf Crocodile and Dekanalog. So definitely be keeping an eye on what these guys are doing. If these aren't titles you're interested in, you should still be looking out for what they have coming in the future. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.